Hello, I just landed in Portland and I think I got scammed by the rental car place, so I'm gonna have to look into that later and maybe pull out my inner Karen. But that was a really emotional plane ride as I was reflecting on this being my first solo trip, and I don't know, there's a part of me that had this moment where I realized where I was fully engaging with the sense of freedom that I feel like I have now, and realizing how much I like it and how enjoyable it is to be able to live my life in this way. And I really feel like love is everywhere now, and we are the love that we give, and the ways that we can connect with people is in our hands. And like, honestly, it's crazy how much being vulnerable and open with other people first opens up a world of connection with other people, because I really do think most people are just waiting for someone else to be vulnerable and open first. And in my experience in the past couple months, I think that as soon as I really open up about what I'm feeling and scared of, and willing to embarrass myself a little and be hopeful and open about that hope, it has allowed me to connect with people in a way that I never have before, and I think it helps people feel safe to open up to. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying what life is giving me right now, I think, and I'm excited for what else is in store. Also, I wanted to add that I'm starting to realize what it really means for no connection to really be permanent, and I think that with that, I'm really feeling like I can love with an open palm, and that nothing is really mine and nothing is gonna stay, and that's completely okay. I can appreciate anything and everything for as long as I have it. We're all on our own journey, and no one is ours to keep, and for however long we get to be with someone is really special and really beautiful, and there's always gonna be more special and beautiful connections to make in the future, and that does give me a lot of hope. I feel like I really don't need anyone anymore, and it's a very strange feeling to be able to acknowledge that and feel the weight of how much that means to me and to everything in my life. I don't know, people are cool, and I think that in whatever way that I can, I have been engaging with a lot of strangers, and as fleeting as these moments and connections are, they're still so beautiful, and I think they're all meant to be temporary. I'm in the tiny home. I have arrived at my stay. This is the bed. And then we have the kitchen, a little desk area that already is looking gross with my stuff, and the bathroom. This thing is kind of cool because it looks like it's a washer and dryer, which these things have always confused me, but I'm kind of excited to use it. And yeah, and now I'm gonna go get dinner, I think. It is so hot in here, it's actually unbearable. So I got to this cute little park. Looks really nice in there. It's called Laurel Crest. Where am I? Laurelhurst Park. But then I realized that there are a ton of mosquitoes here, and I did not, unfortunately, put on any mosquito spray. And so, although I'm kind of sad, I don't think I should go outside right now, because when I get mosquito bites, it is not a fun experience, because I will scratch them until they bleed, and then they scar for sometimes, it feels like, for a year. So I'm just gonna go get dinner instead and maybe read a book. I'm just gonna come back here tomorrow, I think. So I decided that I'm not gonna let mosquitoes stop me, from doing the things I want, and so I just put on my jacket and I went back into the park. And it was really beautiful. There were so many like grassy areas to sit on under a bunch of trees. But I was hoping to see the sunset from the park, but I realized you can't really see it because the trees are so tall. And so instead I am back out now, and I am really glad I got to see it because I probably actually won't come back tomorrow since I only have like 3 days here, but now I'm gonna go get dinner. The first day in Portland is done. I think I have surprised myself with how I've been feeling because I was expecting to feel kind of lonely, but as I've been doing all these things by myself, and even as I come home and I'm having to be with myself, it honestly doesn't feel lonely at all. It feels really nice to be able to feel like home within myself for the first time. I see why people like solo traveling. I think what's crazy about traveling alone is that all the little interactions you have with like random strangers and servers and whoever it might be, they all start to feel honestly really magical and really important. Whereas when I was in a relationship, I was like chronically not really taking those interactions as seriously and like making meaning out of them and thinking that they felt important because I wasn't getting like great deep love out of them. And I think that being single has really helped me pay attention and notice a lot of things that I was too preoccupied before to really think about. And so that's been a really nice observation that I've had. And yeah, that's all I have to share for now. I am gonna wind down. It is like 11 already. The sun here didn't set until 9 p.m. And I'm like, if the sun sets at 9, how are people going to sleep right after that? That's so crazy to me. Or like very shortly after that. But yeah, I'm going to get ready for bed. I haven't watched TV in a while, so maybe I'll put on a show. Kind of want to edit, but I didn't bring my laptop, so that's not an option, unfortunately. Today I'm hiking the Trail of Ten Falls. It is supposed to be a actually, I think it said 7 point something mile hike, and that it would take approximately 5 to 6 hours to do. It is already 3 p.m., but the sun doesn't set here until 9, so I'm thinking I'm just gonna do it. It is a little bit cold and I don't have a jacket, but I'm also hoping that I'm just gonna sweat enough that it won't really matter. But this park is literally so beautiful. Let me just... I had the loveliest day today. I just got home, or just got back to the Airbnb, and I can't even believe the events of today. Just went very unexpectedly, but in the best way possible, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything. So I had gone to the Trail of 10 Falls at the park, and then I was having a pretty good time hiking by myself for a while, and then this guy had I saw him coming up from like another trail, and so I don't know why, but something about his energy, even just when I saw him from far away, kind of threw me off. So I had like put my head down and was just trying to pass, but then he saw me like see him, and we made eye contact for a second. He came up to me and proceeded to ask me if I was solo hiking, and then warily I was like, yeah, which like honestly it's a valid question. Like I was by myself, like if like it makes sense, but I think like it wasn't a super packed trail today, but there were like a decent amount of people, I would say, but there were long stretches where I wouldn't run into anyone, and so I was feeling a little bit nervous about him asking me that, because he was also asking me where I'm from, how long I'm staying. So I'm feeling really weird, and then I see a couple coming up about to pass us, so then I immediately kind of mentally was like, okay, I need to follow them and stay like close to them, and just stay close to like people so that I'm not like alone with this guy. And then I had kind of started like walking that way quickly, and then he asked if we could keep in touch. That to me also just felt kind of red flaggy, and I was like, I mean, like I have Instagram, and I'm like kind of running away at this point. He's like, no, I only have Facebook, and I was like, okay, well, it was nice to meet you, like I'll see you later. And then I was just continuing to go, and it was awkward because he was going the same way as me, obviously, on this trail, and so I had run into him a couple more times. But right after we had split off, I thought that I hadn't seen that many people on the trail yet, so I was like kind of concerned, and I thought, like, worst case scenario, what if he is actually like someone I should be scared of and he's like following me? So I'm basically like running at this point up the trail, and it's funny because it's not really like a runnable path. There's like a lot of rocks and stuff, so it was kind of just making me laugh because I had reached a crossroads where it was like I could loop and go back to the beginning, or I could continue further on with the longer hike, which was about 6 miles. And I, like, even though I was like, I'm getting a weird intuition that I'm not safe right now, but at the same time, I came all the way here. I'm in Portland. I'm not from here. I kind of want to make the most of the trip, and maybe I can just like outrun him or like go on a different path and like lose him. So I just started going really quickly on the path that would be like the longer route. And a few minutes later, I'm like walking, and I see this guy setting up his like tripod and taking a video. Honestly, it's kind of crazy because it just happened today, but the details of how it happened are already kind of fuzzy. I ran into him again a little bit later, and I think he had asked me what I was filming, because at this point I was taking a video of the waterfall, and then we started talking about creating content for YouTube, and then I ended up hiking with him for the next 4-ish hours. He had lost his friends. He came with a group of like 7 other people, and then they just got separated, and so we were hiking together for a while, and it was actually really cool. And I don't know, it was just a really nice experience. I think like connecting with strangers is such a wholesome experience, and really reminds you that like you aren't really alone in this world, and like there really is love and connection everywhere if you look for it. And so that was really nice to experience. Yeah, there's more that I want to say about this, but my brain is kind of fried. It was definitely an exhausting day. I'm like ready to just like shower and relax and maybe sleep early tonight. I think the thread that connects all of us and makes us all human is so beautiful that I just have no words for it, honestly. I'm really grateful for this trip, and I'm really grateful for people, and humans are just so cute, and I'm excited what else the universe has in store for me. This morning I had literally posted on my Substack, because I kind of use it as like a dump for like random thoughts, and I don't follow anyone, and I don't tell anyone that I have it, but I had posted, universe, show me how good it can get. And I just think today I was really surprised by so many little things, and I'm really working on increasing my capacity for surprise and spontaneity and being able to play with life within that. And I don't know, it's kind of crazy to see that the universe is actually does return things when you risk a little bit. So today I have decided that I'm going to be driving along the Oregon coast, and the first stop is going to be Cannon Beach, which is an hour 40 from here. So it looks like there's a candle shop over there, and some streets that I could explore, but something in me is kind of feeling like I don't really feel like exploring these things, and I kind of just want to go drive to the beach, so that is what I'll do. Good morning. I woke up this morning not feeling so great, and that was kind of a surprise to me because I had a really great day yesterday, and every single day that I've been here, I've actually been like in a very good mood and like ready to tackle the day. And so I think there are some things that I need to process. So originally I was gonna go to the Rose Garden to start the day off, but I actually think I need to go to a coffee shop to journal. So that'll be the first priority for the day. So I went to the cafe and I journaled, and I feel a lot lighter now. And one of the things that I'm realizing is how it's really nice that I'm learning what I like my own experience of travel to be, and that in the past, I think as soon as there's somebody with me, it's just so easy to kind of cater to what they might want to do. And not even purely just out of like care for like, oh, I want them to have, actually no, that kind of is what it is. I think that I can be too concerned with wanting them to have their way of doing things, and not necessarily purely out of empathy, but also out of the avoidance of the discomfort I might feel if I have my own plans of what I want to do, and it contradicts with theirs, and I just don't want there to be any conflict. So I'm like, whatever you want to do is fine, because I'm honestly fine with whatever, you know. That's always been kind of how I felt about traveling, and really anything, actually, any aspect of being in a relationship. That was kind of the approach I would take. And I do think there's a core belief that I had there where I felt like if I can just keep them happy in the sense that like they get whatever they want, then I won't ever be abandoned, and I will be loved, and you know, all the things. And so I think now I have realized that I actually really enjoy just waking up and deciding what I'm going to do with my day that day. I don't really love having a plan, I think, because part of what I enjoy about living is being able to be spontaneous and follow my own desires. And I think that when I plan things out, I'm erasing the I'm erasing the variable of how I might feel in the moment. And so if in the moment I feel a certain way, but I already made a plan to go do this and I have to go do that, it just feels very restrictive. And so I think that I like to just follow my own whims as the day unfolds, based on how I feel. And sure, there is a part of me that's like, well, I could have done more if I planned more, but it's like, then maybe there will be one day that I do that, and the other 2 days I get to do things this way, you know? I think it's all just kind of dependent on how you feel and what you need at the time. But yeah, another thing I've been thinking about is how so many of the encounters I've had with people here have just been so nice, and I'm really just struck by how loving and kind people are, and it makes me really start to solidify my own value that I really want to be a beacon of love and kindness, and I want to spread love and joy in the world and be able to reflect that in others as well. I think it honestly is also just really exhausting to be guarded all the time, and I think that I'm kind of at a place now where I'm ready to let that go, and I just don't really want to do that to myself anymore. Yeah, I just don't. Also, I think it's sweet because every time I make eye contact with someone while I'm like filming myself, they always smile, and it's like something that I think everyone is a little bit scared of being like judged for, but literally every single person I've seen has smiled at me or given me like a peace sign or done something sweet like that. And it's just like, there's so much love in the world. There's so much love, and honestly all I want to do is give that back. The last thing that I've been journaling about is this idea that with all of these chance encounters, I'm really finding them to be meaningful in the broader sense of who I am, because I think there's something really special about momentary connection with people that doesn't require any future commitment or value from you, and that there is something really special to be shared in the here and now, and that being all it needs to be. I think I'm also discovering that there's a lot of romance in allowing things to be uncertain and unfinished, and not really knowing how the universe is gonna have things play out for you. And there's like it's a tension. It's like a beautiful, beautiful tension. And it's so weird, but honestly, when I think about that feeling of uncertainty in the world, of like, what's gonna happen, it genuinely feels like promiscuous. And it's weird because it's not really in a sexual way, but it feels daring and bold and like creative and a little bit sexy. And it's so strange for me to say that, because I really don't mean it in a sexual way at all, but it's just like, it feels like flirting with the universe. That's what it feels like. Like, what is going to happen next? How are you going to align me in the future with these people that I just met, or not with these people that I just met? Maybe that's the only time that our paths will ever cross, and there's something so beautiful about that too. I'm feeling really inspired and whole from this journey. And as I was conversing with the people, though, I was like noticing myself worrying that I wasn't asking like the perfect questions or showing up perfectly. But I think that I was reminded that conversations are a dance between both people, and that in a moment where I didn't show up exactly the way I wanted, it's also an opportunity for the other person to fill in or to see where I might have like missed something, or interact with me in a way where it brings me back. Or they might also be feeling like, fuck, I don't know what to say. And I think it's sweet how imperfect it all is, and how we're all just kind of trying our best. And yeah, it reminds me that I don't need to Although I really want to get to know the souls of everyone that I talk to. I think ultimately that's my goal with any conversation is like, show me your vulnerability, show me your pain, but at the same time knowing that there's such a limit to how much you can really experience in just a conversation, because I think true vulnerability only exposes itself through time and development of trust. And so it's like easy vulnerability, but it's at the same time, it's like, let me see your humanity. Let us connect in both of our humanities as vulnerably as we can in a single conversation. That's kind of all I have for right now. I'm going to go into this spiritual shop because that's what I have decided to do next. And then, if it's not raining, then I will go to the rose garden, I think. I just got home from the airport and I am already having FOMO about not being in Portland anymore. I'm already sad. It was just such a good trip. I have no words, honestly. And I'm like finding myself wanting to grasp onto all the things that I learned and really hoping that they don't slip out of my fingers. But I think I'm just gonna have to journal about this a lot and really let things sink in. So yeah, my room is kind of a mess though, so I need to clean this before I go to sleep, and then tomorrow I'm gonna start reflecting.